bold and take risks. The talks, women say what they feel and mean what they say. Yeah. The talks, believe in your power, so much power. Yeah. The talks where women share, women share.
Hello, anybody out there? Hello. Welcome to Vault Talks Women Share. We are in the building. It is another Thursday night, and the party is all right. And we in here to groove, because that's what we are here to do. That ain't my thing.
Is that what we doing?
that ain't it. That's not my thing right there. No. I'm gonna stick to my lane. So we're gonna do a little bit like this. Hey, what's going on? This is Takara Nicole. Welcome to Vault Talks Women Share. It is myself and Isha the influencer in his house. What up, girl?
Oh man, it's a lot been going on lately, but I'm glad to be here. I know I've been MIA for the last couple of episodes, but I'm back.
Yes, she's back in the house when we're elated. So thanks for those who are tuning in live, those who are catching the replay, those who are catching us on our YouTube channel, however you're catching us, we're excited and we're elated and we're honored that you are taking time to check out Vault Talks Women Share. So for those of you who may not know what Vault Talks Women Share is, we originally started as a radio show here in Chicago back in 2018, and we took a pivot back in 2019, and here we are in 2020, and we are indeed the live stream show, the Vault Talks live virtual experience, whatever you want to call it. We here in the building and we're excited. So Vault Talks is indeed a platform full of empowerment where women can come together to learn more, to share more about matters that pertain to their world. It's indeed on this platform where you'll hear us share about entrepreneurship, fashion, relationships, but of course, ways to be empowered as women. So with that being said, let's dive in to see what's going on in Isha's world before I share what's going on in my world. And then we'll bring Isha back up for Quiet It's Quote Time. If you guys don't know what that is, you're going to learn tonight. Gotta learn. So, Isha, tell me a little bit what's going on in your world.
Oh, where do I start?
Hey, look, you only got a couple minutes, okay? So don't give us a laundry list, okay?
No, the biggest thing that the biggest thing that I have going on is my ebook that I just released.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Is this mic on? What was that again? The what? Yes.
My ebook, which I am so excited about. I've been posting it on my platforms. Basically, it's just about, putting weight loss into perspective. I know as we are going into 2021, that is at the top of a lot of people's list for, their New Year's resolutions and the goals that they still want to accomplish, especially since all this COVID weight has been happening to everybody. So it's a real quick read, just to kind of put weight loss in a better perspective. That's the link where you can go purchase that, but just put it in a more, simple perspective to let people understand that it is achievable. It's not something that's impossible, which I looked at it as for a while until I figured out how to overcome certain barriers that were holding me back. So it's a quick, good read. I've got great reviews from it. So if you guys want to check that out, if you're interested or, weight loss, something that you're struggling with right now, I would definitely give it a read.
Yeah, quick. Well, real quick before we, she's gonna be on the show, y'all. She to give the full in-depth interview on where this came from and all that good stuff. But what's one thing that you can share really quickly in reference to why you named it what you did?
So the title of the book, and I didn't even mention it, the title of the book is It's Not a Race, It's a Journey. You can see that in the link. One of the reasons is because I think we kind of put unrealistic expectations on certain goals, especially when it comes to weight loss. It's just like we
Yeah.
want to lose so many pounds so fast. But once you get there, it's just like, okay, what do you do? Because you still have to maintain that, because it's easy to lose. And just as you lose, you can gain. So instead of looking at it as something like a quick fix, something to go to really quickly, look at it as something that you build towards, something that you can maintain throughout. People say it all the time. You have to create a lifestyle around the things that you want to do, and maintaining a certain weight or being healthy is something that you can utilize throughout your life, and it's something that you'll have to maintain when you do start it. It's one thing to hit the goal weight, but what are you going to do after that? So that's why I titled it, it's not a race, it's a journey, because once you hit that finish line, it's over, but on the journey you keep going and you keep growing. So that's what the title of that book came from.
All right. Yes, 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 and yes. So the link is scrolling below. Make sure you grab that. She's really super passionate about what she does in reference to weight loss. I can go grab something to eat that's wrong and she down my throat. I mean, did I say that for real? I did.
No, I'm not down your throat. I'm in your head. It's just like the little angel and devil on the shoulder. So if you watch my videos, and I've had people tell me this all the time, I was about to go get this, but then I remember, I watched your video. So, it makes me feel good that, the things that I say are actually being considered, when it comes to making those types of choices. So just making that influence, making that impact on people's choices and decision when it comes to being healthy.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
I know y'all don't want to hear, but hey.
It's the real, I appreciate it. It's the real deal, but sometimes you just want what you want,
Right.
Like I'm craving a pizza right now with some pepperoni cut in squares with some fried mushrooms with the dipping sauce being ranch. Like that's what I've been craving. And I'm sitting here like, no, Takara, don't do that. Don't do that. And so it is literally, it's a mindset shift, but we appreciate you, and you're going to be on the show in January talking more about that. So we like to open up the show just sharing what's going on in our worlds, because we never know who's paying attention to what we're saying and needing what we're doing. So I am super excited about what I'm getting ready to share. So I got this random phone call Monday from a sister of mine who's like, I need you. And I'm like, okay, whatever, you show up for sisters, right? And when she shared the vision on what it is, it's pretty exciting. So January 23rd, mark your calendars. It's called Life or Death Now What Retreat. It's myself, Malira Green, and also Myketa Moore. What we're doing, we're coming to you guys from our respective roles. So I'll be speaking from being the identity architect and coach. You have Myketa, who is the she's the transparent motivator, and then you have Malira Green, who's your confidence coach. So literally just coming to you guys from these different angles, sharing about how it is important to live life in the different cocoons that we go through in reference to spreading our wings to be that butterfly. So the link is right here. It is www.lifeordeathretreat at eventbrite.com. It is super. It's gonna be super dope. We've been brainstorming all week on what to give y'all. When you have powerhouses like the three of us come together, it's gonna be fire. So we're excited about what we're gonna be bringing in just reference to like changing people's lives and reference to what they have inside of them and what they've been sitting on. So here's Malira. I'm so excited. That's how I feel too.
I'm excited for y'all. When I saw that flyer, I'm like, I put in the comments, oh snap, powerful people. So I know that's gonna be an event to attend. Like that's gonna be really good.
I had to sit on that all week and not tell nobody. Do you know how hard that was for me?
Yep, I'm like, Takara didn't even tell me about this one, but it was a good surprise though.
Yeah, I got the flyer like 5 o'clock this morning, and I'm like, ugh. So yeah, we're really excited excited. Collaborations is where it's at for 2021.
Right.
You want to build your brand, you want to help other women build their brands, collaborate, and this is why we do what we do on Vault Talks Women Share, and we're empowered to do so, because when one person comes together with another, we're building on each other's vision, we're building on each other's brand identity, and we're definitely exposing one another to purpose. So it's just an amazing experience all the way around. But with that said, we're going to quickly transition to, y'all ain't ready tonight, because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even read the quote, I just plugged it in. So I'm not ready tonight for what the influencer is getting ready to share. She drops bombs every time we are on the show, so I don't think I'm ready. But guess what, quiet, it's quote time. Go ahead, take us away, the influencer.
Indeed. So tonight, as we are talking about, finishing up and wrapping up the year, just kind of some things to think about is when it comes to change. Like when you want to achieve certain goals and do different things, so you can't finish how you started. And you have to understand that the most important change happens in the mirror. Nothing from this year is that the new start starts with me. Like if I want to see something different, I have to be something different. We all know that saying, be the change you want to see. And that is so true. Like nothing, you take you wherever you go. And you start to realize that there's certain patterns. If the same thing keeps happening everywhere you go, it's not the place, it's not the environment, it's not the people, it's you. And it's so hard for us to look within and look at us and look in the mirror and say, all right, look, what you doing? Like, where you messing up at? Like, it's people don't want to check themselves. And that's something that is necessary. And that's all a part of growth. It takes, a minute to get to that point. But as soon as you are prepared to look at you and deal with your stuff, that's when you're able to elevate and go to the next level, because we hold ourselves back in ways that we don't even realize. And it takes those people around us to point things out and to let us know in love what it is that we're doing. And it doesn't have to always be something negative. It's just some things that we're just not aware of. Some things that has been passed down from generation to generation. So you just never know. But whatever it is, it's important to address those things so that they won't be stumbling blocks and barriers in your way as you're progressing forward and trying to achieve new goals. So I think this is fitting for tonight as we are wrapping up 2020, which has been a heck of a year, I know, for everybody. But we're moving into 2021 with bigger goals, bigger dreams, and very equipped to handle, what life has in store for us, because, we just never know. So, yeah, that's where I was coming from with that quote.
I'm starting with the woman in the mirror. Exactly. That part, hey, that's really powerful, because when you come to my house and you come to my bathroom mirror, you're gonna see a whole bunch of quotes, because that's what I do. I literally write quotes in lipstick or whatever I can find, eyeliner, to remind myself of what's going on. Literally. Someone just gave me a mean face, probably because I was singing Michael Jackson. But anyways, one thing that I love about taking the time to examine yourself is that you can either do something with it or not. Mm-hmm. And it's up to you to make that decision. And you said something really powerful, because a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to change my environment and things are going to change. Or, if I change my circle and things are going to change. But if you're not bringing that change to yourself, then nothing's going to change. Absolutely. It's just that simple. And a lot of people get so comfortable in their ways of dysfunction to where they don't want to change. Mm-hmm. They're okay with who they are, but then they're not okay with the outcomes that they're producing. And then they're wondering, well, what's going on? And so we talk about it a lot on this platform, just the power of doing the work and the power of understanding who you are as an individual, to be able to position yourself in a place of reflection and understand that there's power in change. And sometimes people think about change being, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. But actually change is a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. When you think of change, for me, I think of transition. I think of blossoming and blooming into a version of myself that I haven't seen. And that's exciting.
Yeah.
And I can definitely say that this year has been one of those years where I've literally seen myself transition and change in many ways. And so I don't want to belabor the time any further than we have. We have such an amazing guest that is behind the scenes here. I've been knowing this beautiful lady for about 2 years now. And it's interesting. Sometimes a interesting or bad situation can bring really great fruit into your life. And she's one of those things that we were a part of something and it wasn't what we thought it was going to be at all whatsoever. However, the relationships that we gained from this experience have been life-changing in many different ways. And so she's one of these people. After rooming with her for a weekend, she became a friend for life and a sister for life. She is a emotional healer. She is an entrepreneur out in Canada. She is doing her thing all the way around. She's all things fitness as well. Her fitness journey is quite interesting to be a part of and to have seen her transitions just in the short time that I've known her. So the one and only Amanda Danielle. Hey, lady, how are you?
Hi, ladies. Oh, good. I was sitting here just listening, taking notes in the back room, and I got a page full already. You guys are incredible. And so when you're going to talk about sitting around and what our tribes are going to look like for 2020, I mean, hey, I could just sit in that back room. Oh, good.
Negative. Not tonight, sis. So right. No, you working tonight. No. One of the things, right? So checking your mindset when building a thriving tribe is what I call this. And when the girls and I met, we were talking about accountability. We were talking about what are those things needed in order for you to be ready to even receive a tribe. What does that even look like for you? How do you know that the people that you're putting in your tribe are meant for you? And so we didn't call it circle. We called it tribe. I think we called it tribe. I'm pretty sure we called it tribe. But it's just encouraging to be able to have people in your life that are on the same path with you.
Right.
And when you get tired, you can pass the baton to them and they're going to run with the same energy that you had and they can refuel you. So with your experience, Amanda, first of all, share with the people a little bit about you. Let's start there.
Oh, where do you begin? Where do you want me to start? As Cora said, I come from Canada. I do have a pretty crazy fitness journey. A lot of setbacks, a lot of trials and tribulations. Had a couple surgeries in there. So I find it really interesting and really the struggles can be your strength, and I look at everything as a positive. Even though the struggles that happen and the setbacks that happen, you want to bury your head in the sand sometimes. This is an opportunity to be able to just flourish from it. So a little bit about my journey. I come from a small town in Saskatchewan, Canada. 2 older brothers, really small town. And when I say small town, I say like 1,500 people. So finding a tribe and relating to the thriving tribe isn't always going to be easy. Sometimes you got to work with what you got, and it's okay to be alone, find that neutral. But for me, I went through a lot of bullying. I went through a lot of highs and lows, and using that experience has really brought me to where I am, where I'm mentoring, where I'm coaching, where I'm speaking from, and where I'm going. So that's a little bit about me, Takora.
That's a whole lot about you, Amanda. You're
in a nutshell.
Right. In the nutshell, you're setting the stage for us to be very aware of who you are, which is amazing. And it's really cool that we can be on this platform together for us to have this conversation. So one of the things
Mhm.
that really is important when you are building a tribe is to know the tools that you're equipped to have yourself. Meaning there's times where we deem ourselves as incapable to even fit into a tribe based on limiting beliefs and mindsets. So let's talk about that. How do we dismantle those limiting beliefs and mindsets to equip ourselves for the tribe that we know that we deserve?
I'd have to say for most people, just become aware. Become aware first and foremost of what it is, and within yourselves, you're limiting. And be honest. Be honest and open about what isn't working well and where we have to shift and change.
Mhm.
And that's awareness is something that can be a scary thing, because once you're aware, it causes you to literally take action. And or I mean, yeah, actually, yeah, take action, meaning not taking no action, which is still taking action.
Right. You have to make a decision. Now you're at a point to where you have to make a decision. Am I going to go left or right? Am I going to address this or just keep, operating in the same manners that I have been? So yeah, once you're aware, that's where the responsibility kind of kicks in for self, and that's what we were kind of talking about earlier. It's easy to point out other people's flaws and say what they're not doing right and what they should do and that type of thing. But when it comes to self, that's a whole nother thing. And it can hurt sometimes. And that's part of those growing pains that you have to go through in order to get to that next level. Like addressing self is, man, it takes a lot. You have to be ready to approach that place if you're ready to grow.
You said
Mhm.
if,
Or you're going
know,
to stay the same, right? Exactly.
Right.
Or you're just going to stay stagnant and stay in that position and never go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And so I'll say maybe late 2018 is when I started to realize that I needed to even redefine my tribe. As I was starting to
Mm.
find me again, I realized that I
Yep.
needed to do a tribe check.
Mm,
And it hurt, because what I realized were some people were my weights,
right.
and letting them go was a painful process, yet it was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back on that, and, would I have done it differently? I think sometimes the delivery might have been different because I was immature in the process of molding even myself and then putting myself in position to receive a tribe and just to understand what that looked like. I won't say there's regret, but I definitely have learned how to properly say goodbye to people that I can no longer be in association with, and that capacity. Um, and so it's been a lot of teachable moments to really embrace me as I am growing into the tribes. And I say plural because there's different ones for me. So understanding that too. So when we typically say tribe, a lot of times we think that there's just one.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to understand that that's not the case. And members of one tribe, you want to automatically bring them over to another tribe, and that ain't it either. So just understanding those barriers, barriers and boundaries between each tribe, so you're not confused, out of alignment, and because you're bringing one energy into another tribe that can't even take that energy, those vibrations, because they're not fit for that, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So just
Well, I
realizing,
love that you said the
yeah,
barriers, because she said that earlier when you were talking about, I believe, her book, when I was in the back room, and she said, the barriers that are holding you back. Sometimes those people in that tribe are the ones that are holding you back.
absolutely.
And like you said, finding that healthy way to eliminate them, because as we're all growing on our journey in life, we sometimes outgrow those tribes, or they outgrow us. And
Yeah.
as you guys were talking a little bit earlier, it really is a journey, and life is like a roadmap. I mean, sometimes there's going to be pit stops. Sometimes you're going to take detours. Sometimes you're going to have to pull over and let people pass you, you know, and that's like it in a tribe.
Right.
Right. And that's perfectly okay too, you know, in life. And, you know, the metaphorical sense of it is just like, we just have to be okay with what comes. And if people, you know, follow up, like everything is in their seasons.
Yeah.
We're not much different from nature. So it's cold outside right now. The leaves are not on the trees. They have to fall off because they can't stand where the weather is taking, you know, the environment, the climate. So certain things just have to happen in certain seasons. Everybody has their seasons. So just knowing that. And like you said, Takara, mentioning that you were probably didn't handle it the best way as you were trying to figure out, like you say, yourself, but that's a part of the growth process as well. Even just realizing and admitting that, okay, I have to let these certain people go.
Yeah.
That's a big step within itself.
Yeah.
So just accepting that, because we can have that feeling for the longest time and just ignore it and not really, you know, take heed to what God or whoever you believe in is really nudging at you and telling you to do in order to get to that next level. So just, you know, being prepared to say, okay, this is what I have to do in order to go. Not really knowing, you know, at the time, that's the beginning stage. But as you grow and you attach yourself to other relationships, you then can better say, okay, you know what, this isn't working out, and probably communicate and verbalize that in a way that is conducive for both parties. Because when you end certain things, it's not always the best feeling. It's not always the best situation. And we don't always handle it the correct way, but you know, that's experience. That's your stepping stone to grow in order to, okay, so next time this happens, because it will happen again as you continue to grow. The next time it happens, I'm better equipped to handle these situations. So it's all a part of the process.
So let's speak to the one who knows it's time to shift. They know it's time to shift from one place to another, knowing that it's time to leave some people behind. What would be some encouraging words that you would share with them, Amanda?
Encouraging words to give them when you're leaving, like me having the conversation that I'm breaking up in the tribe.
So they know that it's time, and it's like, okay, they may be wrestling with it, because I know for me, at least, when I have to let people go, it can be a wrestle for me. I love people that much. So it's like, ooh, you know, but how do we speak to the person who knows it's time, yet they're wrestling with making the decision? What encouraging words would we give them?
So it's interesting you asked this question, because I was driving today, and as you know, I don't prescript anything. So I was driving today, and I was thinking about tonight, and I'm like, I wonder what's going to happen, what we're going to talk about. But what come up for me was, when we look at our relationships in our tribes, in our groups, and everything, on our emotional deposit level versus the emotional withdrawals. And if we're in relationships and we're the one that's constantly depositing and connecting, and, you know, and it's not equal, you know, you're going to go bankrupt because you're depositing into somebody else's, or somebody sucking the life out of you and withdrawing all and not giving back to that relationship. So in what you were asking, really checking yourself, really, if you're wrestling with it, I mean, even putting a chart of like the pros and the cons, and where am I at with this? Is this giving balance in my life?
Right.
Ooh,
that's good. And that's something that I mentioned in conversation earlier as we were talking about this topic, and just dealing with people, period. Like, you have to assess your connections, like who you're connected to. And at some point, it just has to be a no-brainer if you are putting yourself first. Like, you can see all the signs, like they call them the red flags. You know this person is depleting you of everything that you have. They're taking advantage of all, you know, the advice, the money, you know, whatever it is that you're giving, that they're there to receive, and they're not really reciprocating it in return. We know the other person knows, and you also know, but it's never really discussed. It's never really brought up. You think about it all the time, and the fact that you wrestle with it, that lets you know that this is not, a connection that's conducive to where I'm trying to go, or just, the betterment of myself, like what I'm trying to do with my life. So I think we already know when the end is near or here. It's just that taking that step to be like, look, I have to put me first in this situation, and I have to move forward. This is not working. There's no hard feelings, but that, like you said, it definitely comes down to really assessing the situation and checking yourself. Why are you allowing these people to deplete you? And then it's not really just a victim mentality when it comes to the person that say, I'm giving, because you have some of those people who are codependent, and they have to have somebody to give to. Like that's a part of their need. And so that person is filling a void, and vice versa. You guys are both getting something out of the deal. But when you look at it, it's just like, okay, what I'm receiving is not, you realize it's not healthy.
Right.
And that's where you have to make a change.
And I say that because, some people take this end of the year thing and, really go super hard with it. Let me clarify. It's the end of the year. I got to get rid of some people before I step into 2021. And you're like, what does the end of the year have to do with getting rid of people? Where did that come from? So, it's just all that, whatever we want to call that, in reference to, these resolutions, which I used to believe in. I don't believe in them anymore. To me, it's just a laundry list of stuff that sounds really good that I have no intentions of really fulfilling. Just saying, a new year, a new me. You should be wanting to renew you daily, if not by the minute, by the second. So, I'm just like, I'm over it. When you start stepping outside of these tribes and really getting into different circles of influence, you start to realize some of the things that you said need to be thrown away and burned and literally never picked up again. And so for me, resolutions is not one of those things. I don't believe that the end of the year is the only time where you should evaluate your life to see and purge, including people. I don't believe in that anymore. What I do believe is that we need to continuously put ourselves, sit ourselves down with ourselves and really evaluate the relationships that we have in our lives in reference to the roadmap that we have for us. And understanding that some people just can't go with you, but it shouldn't be a whole new year, let me cut people off. If anything, it should be, I need to continue to evaluate throughout the year my life, my purpose, and who is with me. So letting go is a perfectly amazing thing because it literally just makes room for more. And so when we talk about creating thriving tribes, I think one thing we need to think about is we don't want to be the smartest person in our tribe.
Right.
That's not going to be healthy for us. So with that being said, what are three things or three elements, three characteristics that you would say make up a thriving tribe? I'll start with you, Isha.
So I would definitely say being teachable.
Yeah.
You and the others that are, that you include around you, because we all have something to share. We all have something to give. You have something that I don't have, and vice versa.
Right.
So if you're in a position to not learn, whatever that potential that tribe could have had is going to stop right there, because you're not going to grow past the point of what you know, because you're not in a position to receive. So definitely that is a big thing. And like you said, not being the smartest person. If you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. So I think pride has a lot to do with when it comes to just gaining knowledge and information from people. You know, we like to think that we know it all, and then you meet somebody that know a little more or know something that you don't, and it's just kind of, it's a barrier there. It's kind of hard to receive sometimes. So definitely being teachable, being, I would say, open. You have to be open enough to allow people in, first of all, and then to share. So I think that's a very important part of connections and relationships. It's just that vulnerability. So just being able to, you know, share those low moments and not feeling so insecure about it, not having that, you know, trust issue that's holding you back and keeping you in the smallest of boxes, to where you feel like you're just alone and nobody really knows what you're going through and what you're dealing with. You have to be open in order for somebody to help you, in order for you to receive help.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
being teachable, being vulnerable, and I would say just having confidence.
Yeah.
Having enough confidence within yourself to kind of boost yourself, but also give somebody else that boost.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are insecure and they feel like they can't compliment, you know, another person or help another person because, oh, they may exceed or go past me. It's just like you have to have confidence within yourself to be able to do what you need to do, but also help somebody else along and not feel intimidated or, you know, insecure by someone else's success. So those are my 3 things.
Ooh. That's good. Amanda, you want to go?
Well, when I write down my words and she just speaks them, I'm not sure that I have words left.
Right?
Open was one of mine. And what I wrote down with it was ego and jealousy. Because
yeah.
leaving that ego behind and that jealousy, when it like you guys you touched on it a little bit, but if somebody's more confident or not, you know, it's not being jealous of them, but like getting tools from them to be more of what you want to be versus looking at it as an intimidation factor.
Absolutely.
So
That's good.
that's where I went with the open, with the jealousy, with the intimidation. Because I mean, let's face it, there's been a majority of my life. The reason why my journey became my journey was because I was open and honest, and it intimidated people because I would tell it like it is, you know. And so the other thing is the honesty, no matter what. Yes, it's going to hurt, but it's going to hurt. Would you rather be lied to? You know, would you rather lie to yourself? So being open, being honest to yourself, honest to your tribe, you know, like there's going to be some times that you don't just take on a task in the group or take on a task in the situation that you can't do just to think that you can do. Be open,
Right.
honest, talk about it. And then lastly, I wrote down unique and authentic. I believe everybody just deserves to be their authentic self.
Yes.
And everybody has a passion, a purpose, and something that is so beautiful within them that I don't have. And so be who you are meant to be and be that authentic and shine the way that you are.
Yeah. I'm loving every moment of this. This is good. So I had to put this one in, being the identity coach and all. Knowing your identity. Mm-hmm. So this is really important when you get amongst other people, that you can still stand strong and know who you are and not shrink back. Sometimes when we are placed within a tribe and we're like, ooh, but she does this and he does that. Sometimes that whole comparison thing tries to seep in. But if you really stand grounded and rooted in your own foundation of knowing who you are, as I always say, it's indeed a game changer, not just for you, but now that energy, those vibrations that you're giving off is now rubbing in onto somebody else. And now you're helping to build their identity by you simply standing in your truth and owning who you are. So you have that part of that. The other characteristic I said is the willingness to let go. Sometimes like we feel that we can't let go of what we already know. Meaning we know this and this is all I'm going to say and da, 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 and have all that energy into that, but willing to let go to some of the things you do know to make room for the things you need to know. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, just that whole release to receive and how important that is when you're in a tribe, because you will be over full if you don't learn how to let go of some things, and you won't be able to move because there's too much in you. And so the last thing that I said was being courageous. And so putting yourself out there to be heard, be seen in a way that's not to get the accolades, but it's so people can hear what your message is all about. Someone needs what you have. And so I think sometimes when we get in these tribes, you know, at first, sometimes we want to shrink back. You know, sometimes we just want to sit on the sidelines and see what everybody else is saying and doing and how they're moving, instead of just jumping in, knowing where you fit in, owning and standing up in your truth, you know, pushing your shoulders back, sticking your chest out, and just standing tall and being who you've been created to be, and allowing for your energy, your light to shine. So you never know who needs what you have that's sitting right next to you. So it's really important to just simply be courageous when you're in these groups and these tribes, and you're continuously taking risks, leaping into really honing on to who you are. And so a lot of times that can be scary, you know, and that's why you're in a tribe, right? You know, because you're no longer alone unless you choose to self-isolate yourself in a tribe. And I think that's a whole different live. That's a whole different Vault Talk segment, because what's the point of you being in a tribe if you're still in your mindset, isolating yourself and not even wanting to contribute to conversations, collaborations, anything of that nature? So what are you doing? At that point, you're sucking up other people's energy. And for what? What are you doing with it? You know, so yeah, I digress.
The interesting thing that I got when you were describing that was there's always the flip side of it too. The one that just jumps in like a cannonball and empties out the whole pool, you know, and it's only your way and that way, and having that and finding that balance, like not stepping in and being the most in the corner, but not stepping in and being the cannonballer.
Right. Oh my God. You know, I
definitely have to be strategic when, you know, when you're intertwining your energy with other people. Like you said, give them everything all at once, you know, because it can be overbearing and overshadowing to other people. And it's just like, but like you said, there's a flip side to everything. So that person doesn't share, you know, a whole lot. They're dealing with things, you know, there's a reason for everything. So it may be that hurt that you experienced from that last tribe that, you know, you really haven't bounced back from. So you're holding back and you're not really used to, you know, building those connections and those relationships and putting yourself out there. You don't really like the attention, but you know what you have is valuable. So it's just like you have to find the medium with dealing with, you know, putting yourself out there and launching out and doing what it is that you're called to do. But everybody has their own things that's kind of holding them back. Like it's nobody else, it's just you. And you have to figure out, you know, what is it about me? What am I holding on to that's not allowing me to receive what, you know, collaborations can bring me? What networking can bring me? What, you know, all these different other interactions, because we hold ourselves back from a lot out of fear of not repeating certain cycles and certain circumstances and situations over and over again. So it's just like, you know, forgiveness is a big piece of that. Letting go, trusting yourself, and definitely, like you said, Takara, knowing who you are. You have to know yourself well enough to stand in your power and know, okay, this is who I am. Because a lot of people shrink back, and it's not just within a tribe. You can be in any type of room, and you don't have to say anything. Your presence alone speaks volumes, but you still want to conserve that energy and the things that you have to bring, because you know the looks and stares that you'll get from people because they feel a certain type of way because of your energy, or the things that you do, or the things that you know, or the things that it's just like women, we go through it, you know, the worst when it comes to that. So, you know, just really that takes a
Now
lot
let's
of work,
talk.
standing in your power in that identity. And Takara, you do it well with your identity coach and just, helping people realize who they are. But it
Man.
takes that self-work in order to really walk in it.
If I may, I'm going to be very transparent. And this was a year for me to learn how to be transparent, like how to just keep it real. I remember having a conversation with my grandma a couple months back, and I was telling her some things that she never knew. So, I was like, yeah, the suicide attempts, I've tried them, and, how I did it and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you're really open with sharing. And I was like, yeah, I want to help people. I want to be able to be very transparent and let people know, like, life is real.
Right.
It's indeed real every single day. And you have to make the decision. What you going to do? Are you, knowing who you are allows for you to know which way to go. Your identity literally is a GPS. Now that's a good one. Your identity is a GPS. And what I had to learn was way back then, I didn't know who I was. I was 19 when I attempted that. I was all hung up in a dude who wasn't even really thinking about me. Hence why God let me be here to I'll see 39 next month. Okay. So, that was almost, it'll be 20 years. So it's like, we don't know where we're going to end up. However, we have to stand in our power and our identity and understanding that I'm here for a reason. My superpowers are needed on this earth. The influencer is needed. Ask Danielle is needed. Because Ask Danielle is raw and real too. She gonna keep it 199 plus some. So you need to be able to know who you are, to be able to even place yourself in a tribe, to be like, it's okay for me to be this person, and when you, Amanda, when you talked about the cannonball, I'm going to tell you this visual that I got. I got this overweight guy running off the diving board, like the diving board going and, plunging and then just hitting the pool and water going everywhere on everybody. Like, oh my God, and so that's the visual that I got in my head when you said that. So, when I think about that, I think about the awkward person standing out, wanting that love and wanting to be received and wanting to be nurtured within that tribe. And so, being able to know your role in a tribe. So like for me, I'm the cheerleader. I'm the encourager. And we need that from time to time, especially when you are in a process of rebuilding your tribe, because everybody has different characteristics. So you have to know how to play within these different, so this person does this person does this person does this, and not to get offended when somebody moves a way that you're not used to moving, and understanding that this is just who they are. And don't take on that energy yourself and then be like, well, I don't know if this is the right place for me. I don't know if these people, I don't know if I can really gain what I desire to gain from this new tribe that I'm in because of one person. This is how this person chooses to express themselves. It has nothing to do with you personally. And the thing is what I've learned is that that person that might bring a lot of attention to themselves might have something that you need. So be very careful on how you treat that person. Because, they might be a little awkward or whatever, but you never know what they bring to the table. So just with that is a really good segue of not allowing what you see on the surface in reference to people to hinder you from embracing them.
Right.
We make that mistake so much.
Well, the other thing is going back to the honesty around it. Is it about them or is it really about how you're perceiving them?
Yeah. And so how you're perceiving them also taps into your mindset and where you are. And so, that's a whole nother topic for, again, we created two different lives or two different segments that we need to talk about later on. But just that whole understanding that when you know who you are and what you bring to the table, don't let anything shake you from being where you are, because there's something that you need from this circle.
Mm-hmm. That's that whole judging.
Authentically continue to walk in you.
Right. Definitely. And then when you see somebody, you know, that they may possess something that you have or something that you lack, you feel a type of way. So that's what you say. You have to address yourself. Why am I offended by this person just being who they are?
Right.
You know, we take offense to certain things because people are not like how we are or like how we think that they should be. So it's just a matter of respecting people's differences and their uniqueness. What they choose, the choices that they make doesn't always have to align with what you do. You know, a lot of times we think if it's not the same, if it doesn't look like me, act like me, talk like me, then it's not right. You know, something's wrong. And that's where I think people really have to open their mind up to receive certain people. You know, I've changed a lot about myself and the way that I eat and that type of thing. So I get looked at like I got 3 heads when I say, well, I don't eat chicken. I don't, you know, do this certain type of thing. And it's just like, you know, I'm not different. That's just a choice. That's something that I choose, you know, for myself. Like, we still can sit down and break bread. It's just like I choose not to eat certain things. I'm not, you know, this weird different person. That's just a preference of mine. So when we see people who have, you know, who may have the bigger energy and they're loud when they enter a room, or even the people who, you know, are closed off and quiet and don't share a whole lot, you can't really judge that person because you never know, you know, what they have to offer.
Right.
So it's just like, give people a chance. Don't just sum them up in what you think that they should be, what you think that they should sound, look, act, and dress like, and be offended because they don't add up to what you think.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you never know. You're not the end all be all. You're not the perfect stature or standard. Somebody might look at you the same way. You know, I don't think that, you know, you lack in this area or you should be doing this. And that's not a good feeling to be judged just for being who you are.
Absolutely. Woo!
Totally, 100%. The other thing I wanted to add to that is if you know somebody in such a way. So for myself, if I don't enter a room bold and loud and excited and energetic, people look at me like I have 3 heads of what's wrong with her now. No, that's not it. I don't do it for attention. I do it when if I feel like it. Like, you know, and that's the other difference is some people will sit back and look and go, oh, they're looking for attention. And it's like, are they though? Or is that just you and how you perceive it?
So that's good, because what you're saying is that that's their insecurities like screaming at you real loud when they start doing all that.
Or jealousy, or the jealousies again, you know, because that's what, you know, I can honestly say in my experience that so many people are like, how do you just do that and not care? Like, how do you dance like crazy and you haven't even had a drink or you haven't even done anything? And it's like, because I can, you know, and they're standing back and then they have, you know, however many drinks and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and now they get to act crazy. And I'm like, look, people act crazy all the time and you forget because you get like, I'm not drinking and I remember everything. So everybody else forgets, but I don't need that liquid courage when I can just all of a sudden break dance in the middle of the mall or on the street or whatever, if a song comes on, or, you know, and that's when I say, you know, you go back to authentically being you. It's not like I'm looking for attention and that other person may not be looking for that attention. They're just okay being them.
Yeah.
And don't fault them.
Right. That's good. That's good. Oh, this has been a healthy discussion. Amanda Danielle, mwah, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Appreciate it. You will indeed be back on the platform to share more because you got a whole lot to share. So I want to make sure that I let people know of how they can follow you on social media. Share a little bit about your powerful group that I love so much that you have on Facebook.
My Courage and Confidence group, that it just allows people a safe place to be in a woman group, to share what they need to share, blast in there something that they need to be lifted up, there's encouragement, there's tips, there's tricks, there's real talk, there's joking, there's laughs, there's goofy different posts that, we have to have a funny every now and then because we do take life really seriously. And right now, in this day and age, lots of times we forget to breathe and we forget to stop and we forget to relax and we forget that it's okay to be however it is we are. So I do have a Facebook group. My website is scrolling across the screen, connecting to me on Instagram or personally, and just being able to be authentically yourself and have the courage and confidence. Just speak and be who you're meant to be.
Yes, and her group is really fun. Just lives watching the comments and what people share and what she shares, and she comes from a really real place all the time, which is really encouraging as well. So these are some ways to follow her. Her website was just scrolling. This is her Instagram, Ask Amanda Danielle. And then if you want to search for her on Facebook, it's also Ask Amanda Danielle, but the S is a $sign, which is super creative all in itself. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you for those who will be watching us on the replay or on our YouTube channel. Before we leave, gotta give a little tidbit on what you can expect for next week's show. So, as you guys know, we are normally here on Thursday nights, and so Christmas Eve actually falls on a Thursday night, and so does New Year's Eve. So next week is our last live show of the year. Wow! Wow! Yes! And we are going out with a shebang, diggity, bow, bow, wow. We really got it. Super excited. If anybody knows me, super excited is like one of my words because I literally get super excited about everything that God allows for me to do. So super excited about next week's show. So my intelligent self posted a really interesting topic, not knowing that it would gain so much attention. And so Isha, the influencer, goes, we should talk about that. And he said, she said, they share. So any of you who are active viewers of Vault Talks Women Share, the virtual experience, you'll know that he said, she said, he said, she said, he said, she said, they share. Say that 5 times. It's every 4th Thursday, typically. Due to the holiday, we're going to be doing the show next week. And so, drum roll, we're going to be talking about social media and relationships. I am excited. It's going to be boom, pam, pow, wow, all that and some more. So we can allow about 10 people to join us on the panel, on the program, and I think we're like almost there with the 10 that we're gonna have. So it's gonna be a hot discussion. We're also gonna have a small segment on Her Wellness Matters, where Isha the influencer is gonna go and talk a little bit more about her YouTube channel and a little bit about her book. So there it is. We're excited about next week's show. So make sure you tune in. This has been an amazing show. I hope that you ladies and gentlemen, because we do have men viewers, really hold on to what we talked about for tonight's show, because it's really important as we are getting ready to transition, not just into 2021, but as we're transitioning, period, as people in this world that we now live in. We have to be more conscious of the circles that we allow ourselves to sit in, the tribes that we allow ourselves to be around and a part of, because we are living in some interesting times and the mindset is really important. So this topic is one that's of importance for many different reasons, because when you think of a tribe, you think of family, you think of people that you can relate to, you think of people that you can grow and build with. So thanks for tuning in. This has been Vault Talks Women Share, and catch us next week, same place, same time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Central Standard Time. And he said, she said, they share is going to be Ping pong pow wow. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm really excited.
Oh my goodness.
I cracked myself up. Like, for real though. I'm super excited.
It's definitely going to be interesting. It's a good way to go out with He Said, She Said for the year. So I'm
For the
excited
year.
about it too.
Oh, I've been doing research. I got YouTube clips and all kinds of stats. I am. She ready? Yes. She is ready. All right. We love y'all. Mwah. Have a good one. And thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Vault Talks Women Share the Virtual Experience. See ya.